So I now have the great honor and pleasure and responsibility of introducing someone who is a man of faith, a preacher who I hold very dear and close to my godless heart. He's a signer of the call to rise up October, a member of the Presbytery of New York. Join me in welcoming Reverend Phelps.
So I was told I had 8 minutes, and then I was told I had 4. I'm not sure how that's going to work, but we'll keep it short. We'll try to keep it short. Let me just time myself so I know what's going on. Three years ago, several clergy, about a dozen clergy, had an open time to meet with Ray Kelly in his massive offices there at One Police Plaza. And I was rather annoyed by my fellow clergy, the softballs they were lobbing at the commissioner. And at length I said to him, Commissioner, members of my church, members of my staff, I was then at the Riverside Church, are terrified to see your men in blue on the streets of this city. Just terrified. This degrades the whole social fabric. And he said, somebody's got to pay for safety in this city. Somebody's got to pay. Well, we got rid of him, but we did not get rid of police terrorism, right? So that's not exactly the solution. We're gathered here tonight partly to get concrete about what the call to stop police terror means, because just calling it all the time isn't going to stop it, is it? So we got to get concrete. Now look, between the call over here and violent revolution over here, we got to find exactly that point on the continuum where you can enter in and do something. And I'm going to talk to you now for a moment from the perspective of the great religious traditions. Because we're in a church, and I got a collar on, and I'm going to speak to that. Even though religion, God knows, has been complicit in all kinds of evils, especially in this nation, in many, many nations. All kinds of evils. We don't have to doubt that. All kinds of fantasies are in the minds of believers that lead them to believe and to do evil things. It happens. However, if you cut yourself off completely from the 5,000-year tradition of human wisdom, then you're out here all alone trying to invent it yourself. There are deep wells here, at sources that you can drink from. And many of you in the room know this. All of you, I think, know this in some way. So, let's take a look. One of the things that God says, according to the traditions, is that he hates brutality against the oppressed and the small and the weak and the vulnerable. I hate that. What's it mean if God hates that? Does that mean that we forgive and sit back and wait? I don't think so. Does it mean that vengeance is mine, saith the Lord, therefore we sit back and wait? I don't think so. Does it mean doom is coming? Sit back and wait for doom? I don't think so. No, I think there's only one thing we need to read into what God hates. God hates it. God hates it when people are shaken and refuse to wake up. God hates it when people are really shaken, and I don't mean by the hand of God in some magical way. You know what I'm talking about. Shaken, and the people refuse to wake up. The people of America have been refusing to wake up since the day the Cristobal Colombo bumped up on one of the islands, started here, and started killing the natives. We have always been asleep. Now, some people say slavery is the original sin of America. I don't think that goes deep enough. I really don't. No, the original sin is the human sin of desiring something so much that you say, I will have that. By any means necessary, I will get that thing I want. This infects humans. Of course it does. And if they are asleep and they feel a desire for something and they take it, oh, they'll do anything to keep that, to get that thing. This is what has driven all the rapacity that now gets named global capitalism and turns up on our shores daily as police terrorism. They're all connected. And yes, it may be, as we know, that the doom of global warming is coming, but you see these links. You don't need the fancy word intersectionality to prove to you what the links are among all these evils. They have to do with unregulated desire in the heart. And so, here comes the basis of a political program to stop police terrorism. It must always focus on waking people up. Always. Whatever it's being done. The gathering, which side are you on? Was there ever a call more clear as to how to wake up? I'm at 5:30. So we are always seeking that. I think, did you know that Lyndon Johnson initiated the Kerner Commission in July, 18 months before the end of his service as president? Mr. Obama is approximately at 18 months before the end of his service as president. Obama could establish a National Advisory Commission on Police Brutality now, and the word would come back and it would help raise the consciousness of the people. Whatever actions we take, they must be focused on waking people, because that is the only thing God hates, is when people are sleeping and are shaken and they turn it off and say, go away, I don't want to wake. Let us ourselves